I'm joined at this hour by BBC commentator Prakash Vakankar. I'm also joined by the former head of BCCI's Pitches Committee, Daljit Singh. Seth Bennett, the BBC reporter, joins me, and two fans from two teams. I have Adam Taylor from the English cricket camp and Rishi Chabra, an Indian fan. To you, Prakash, first, no first loss in a very long time for Team India. We've been getting used to India dropping the first game against the opponents and staging comebacks.
Well, yes, and I suppose Owen Morgan can't be blamed if he's hoping that the result will still turn out in the same pattern and that England can come back in the next two games. But to be honest with you, Rika, I thought that today was, the Indian cricket factory, as I'm beginning to call it, just seems to have an assembly line of putting out young talent. And one of them in the last 8 months or so has just come at the start.
Daljit Singh, let me come to you. Prakash called it the Indian cricket factory. At least we can count 10 players who have come from the IPL stage and performed phenomenally in the last few months. Just tell us, your idea about how this factory is working.
As a curator, I must first talk of the pitch first. It was quite a pleasant surprise for me to see such a pitch for ODI in India, and all the credit to the curator Prakash Adha and his ground staff. I wonder if India had lost today's game, what we would see for the next two games, what kind of pitch. But fantastic. There was a pitch which was ideal for one-day cricket and very good advertisement for this format. Well done, India.
Well, Seth, let me come to you. There were moments, especially at 135 for no loss. Everyone genuinely thought that England would pull it off.
Yeah, they absolutely threw it away. They put themselves in a wonderful position. And a couple of really, really soft dismissals, if you think about it. You look at really Ben Stokes giving it away. Owen Morgan's a soft dismissal. Jason Roy's a soft dismissal as well. When you're in that position against a team of the calibre of India, you can't afford to let up. And that's exactly what England did here. And it's something they've not done in this format of the game in quite a long time. And it will be just a little bit concerning. But Rika, I do want to highlight the fact that they were missing their influential number 3 in Joe Root. And in that kind of situation, Joe Root would come in, and before you'd blinked, he would be 40 knots out, having just glided the ball around the ground. That was really what England needed, having made that explosive start, having seen Johnny Bairstow clearing the ropes in such style. They just needed to knock it on to get themselves in a position where they're 240 for 3. At that point, it's game over. Instead, though, they carried on trying to go at breakneck speed, and that left them really in a bad position. And it opened the door for India to come in and win the game.
Adam, well, Seth said that England are missing Joe Root. But when you look at the England team sheet, it gives one a feeling that England bats deep. But the brittleness of the batting order was exposed today. Do you sense, a little bit of a complacency coming from the England camp, because they know that they have batters who can bat deep? So, the others are not putting in that much of an effort?
Well, that is a charge, but I agree with Seth. We did bat a little bit too aggressively, and we didn't change our tone. And yeah, we missed Root. Exactly that. Root would have got those runs and steered us through. So I guess, is that in the mindset? I don't know. I mean, Owen Morgan, we trust him. He's made us world champions. He did say that that's how we play the game. We go in hard, and we'll carry on to do that because we're stretching the ODI game. We're trying to be better and teach all of us, the whole of the team, to do better and stretch ourselves. So that's kind of where the direction of travel is going. 320 odd to win. That seemed like a massive total, but now in today's world, it could have been 340. It could have been a higher total. So that's a kind of game that we play. So that was the game plan. We went for it. We'll come back on Friday. We'll see. I still thought it was a fantastic day's cricket. Some great stories in there, a great kind of narrative. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, and also we missed Wokes as well, and we missed Archer. We missed Root. But I'm still confident come Friday and Sunday, that will be tough to beat.
Well, Prakash, as Adam mentioned, there were some great stories that came out today during the match, and one of the stories was debutant Prasidh Krishna doing the demolition job tonight. He had a shaky and expensive start and then a stunning comeback. What really stood out for you in his performance?
The ability to learn very quickly, Rika. I think that's been the hallmark of so many of these young lads. Prasidh was no different. He realized he wasn't hitting the hard lengths. He quickly adjusted and then reaped the benefit. But I cannot let what Adam and Seth have said go without a little bit of a friendly retort. The choice of who to play rests with England. They need to get a computer to rewrite their rotation policy, mate. I mean, you are deciding who you bring and who you take away. Chris Vokes, I think, is poor bloke, traveled all around the world. He must have had a lot of books to read.
Rishi, well, coming to you, we're still talking about Prasidh Krishna. Which would you say was his key wicket tonight?
Rika, first of all, I'd like to add, the way Team India played, I think it was fearless cricket, and the IPL definitely has to do something with it. That they don't, the debutants don't play for a place in the squad now. They play fearless cricket, and that's what Prasidh Krishna did today. And, the way he was bowling in the line and length, it was absolutely spot on with the way he was conceding runs. And then he came back and was absolutely spot on. A brilliant performance by him today, and especially Krunal Pandya. But really happy that he got to pick up wickets today and was amongst wickets.
Right. Krunal Pandya also did pick up one wicket. He's come at the back of some phenomenal domestic performance. Daljit Singh ji, let me come back to you. New kid on the block. What a debut for Krunal Pandya. He hit a blitz of a half-century, becoming the fastest ODI debutant to score a half-century for India. Your impressions of this young man, though, we've seen a lot of him during the IPL, we've seen a lot of him during the domestic cricket, but, coming into the international stage and really, seeming it all look seamless.
Before that, let me tell you some figures. India reached 100 after 24 overs. England were there in 12th over. By the time England got to 24th over, they were 175. So you can see where the game was going. It was absolutely remarkable. And before that, Indian innings was remarkable for two comeback innings by Shekhar Dhawan and Rahul. And then Kohli played well and Krunal played a blazing innings. So all that put together 317.
Tell us a little bit, what do you think about all these 10 men that have, come from IPL and performed so brilliantly for India?
Rika, I think, we saw in the T20 that we played against England, the way Ishan Kishan performed, the way Surya Kumar Yadav and now Krunal Pandya. Like I said before, fearless cricket is what these players are playing. The new breed that's coming, they don't play for their place in the squad. They want to get there. Even if they get one opportunity, they want to make sure that they capitalize on it and they perform, and they're up there amongst the greatest. And that's what, the IPL has done. We might not have won, a lot of ICC tournaments since 2013, but IPL has actually got us the bench strength that we need. We've seen that in Test cricket, we've seen that in T20, and now with our greats like Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, Jadeja not being there, we have the bench strength and debutants performing and winning us games. So credits to IPL and credits to the individual team management as well for grooming them so well.
Prakash, let me ask you this. This ODI series is sandwiched between the T20 internationals, between India and England, and the IPL. Not much of a context there, but the Indian cricket team does not seem to be willing to take the foot off the pedal.
Well, I suppose you do play cricket when you play for your country to win. Why cricket? Any sport. And I think what the Indian team is attempting to do is to consistently try and perform, to get into the winning habit, get more of their bench strength sort of blooded into the international scenario, if you will. And all of that, I think, is part of a conscious effort to try and ensure that the bench is stronger. With so much cricket being played, injuries are always going to be a part of the game. We don't know how bad Shreyas Iyer's injury is. but I'd be surprised if we see him again in the next couple of games. But you know, that's I think the game plan, to try and have as many people, personnel as they can, to try it out without losing focus on what's going to happen. But let me also add, don't assume this three ODI series is over by any stretch. We're playing the world champions. Owen Morgan and his team will come back very strongly. They are a very, very talented team. And I think we're in for a couple of really good games at the Gahunje Stadium in Pune.
Daljit Singh ji, you spoke about Shikhar Dhawan and the performances of the Indian batters tonight. But let's talk a little more about Dhawan. Coming off the bench, he was dropped from the T20 team, and now he scored a half-century, added to India's emphatic win today, those 98 runs. Would you say he is still the opening benchmark for India in ODIs?
He sees this chance on the comeback, and all credit to him. He has performed brilliantly in the past, so he is no pushover. And today he took his time, but he laid a very solid foundation in which India could go to the total past 300. Another cricketer I must mention is Shardul Thakur. India has found a cricketer for all formats. Test, T20, now ODI. Remarkable cricketer, batting, bowling, fielding. I think we are very, very happy that such cricketers have come from the ranks, and there are a lot of them waiting. As Prakash said, there are a lot of them waiting there. And this series, the sandwich in between, it has given a chance to more cricketers to come and show their wares. So that is where I think Indian cricket must be complimented. Our strength is our domestic cricket. A lot of talent coming through domestic cricket, IPL, and that is why the results are coming.
And as Virat Kohli said, that he is a very happy man tonight because of the way that his team performed, because of the way they came back. Adam clearly feels that England can make a comeback. Seth, tell me, what are your predictions? You think that the England cricket team can come back from here after, you know, received this blow tonight? And though the win is not as bad as it could have been, but still a 66-run pounding.
Yeah, well, we're watching Jason Moore. Sorry.
Yes, yes, Seth, please go on.
Yeah, I think undoubtedly they can come back in this series. I think that England just have to make sure they go back to doing what they do very, very well, which is, you know, bat well, use the thunder that they have within that lineup to the best of the effect, and try your best not to collapse. Yes, it's very glib and easy for me to kind of say that, but they've made a living out of this over the past 4 years. That's why they shot to the top of the world leaderboard. And you know what? That's at stake in this series. You know, if you want the one little thing that's at stake, that #1 place in the ODI rankings is potentially up for grabs. And I know how desperately England covet that. And I'm sure they're going to want to keep it. So I'm banking on what Adam said and what Prakash hinted at. I know he feels the same way about this. England are going to come roaring back on Friday.
Well, if that happens, then India will have a very, very good contest, because even though the critics may say there is no context to this series, but if India is able to win all the 3 ODIs, then they will become the #1 ODI team as well. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the broadcast this evening.